Hello everyone. I thought I'd give you a overview of a map I've made recently of a city, which is an interesting change from the land maps I've been making for a while now. So I'll give you an overview and then we can take a tour through the different districts. So as you can see, the city is built both on land and on water. It's built on the side of a large lake, and there's a lake town in the middle of the lake that's connected to the land area by several bridges. Up to the top there's a large cliff. The whole lake and lake city and town sit at the bottom of a cliff, and there's a waterfall pouring into the lake that the city uses for power. I'll give more details on that as we get to it. Starting down here, we have Saltside, which is a port district, for cargo, for merchandise coming into the city. A rather rough neighborhood. We have Tusk Town, another rough neighborhood, but this time because it is mostly populated by orcs and half-orcs. So their culture heavily influences this part of the city. Harrow Hill, a hill district, not a lot of residential areas, not a lot of residences, but mostly for monuments, for graveyards, for memorials, essentially. Maze Gate, one of the entrances to the city, which got its name because it looks a great deal like a maze, populated by rogues, crazy wizards, ne'er-do-wells of all sorts, a dangerous place to get into the city, but it's gained its own reputation that's attracted people to it. People go to Maze Gate for a good reason, usually to escape. Hismar, a district of the city mostly populated by the lizard people, who all live to the south of the city for the most part in the swamps. A lot of them have come to live in this part. We have Sumpton, an old seedy entertainment district. We have the Borough Bank, mostly populated by halflings, due to their preference for living in very unique dwellings. They've sort of taken over this area of the city as their own, to live in their own communities. We have Parliament, which is a large tower built into the side of the cliff, heavily fortified. We can also see roads going into the cliff to New Anvil, populated by dwarves in the Underdark inside the cliff. We have Candle Street, which is a commercial area. Lots of shops, lots of guilds. Threepenny, a poor residential area. The Old City, which is the core of the city, where the city's grown from. Cheltenham, a rich residential area. Noblemen, military leaders, bankers, those with money, the old money or new money, tend to live in Cheltenham. And we have the God's Walk, which is a large plaza packed with shrines and temples from every part of the world, to every deity known to all the races. Across the water, in the lake town, we have Cinder Wick, a district filled with gnomes, inventors, engineers. Explosions and smoke are often heard and seen coming from Cinder Wick. A dangerous place for those who don't know what they're doing. But for those inclined to things mechanical, it's a paradise. The Stormworks. So this is a industrial area run by the city that uses the power of the waterfall to run all sorts of machinery. Mead's End, a area dedicated to producing food, but mostly drink, mead, ales, that sort of thing. Down here we have Pitchwood, populated mostly by criminals, by sailors, by fishermen, by those avoiding the eye of the law. It's a maze of streets around a great deal of canals. Belgium Park, area full of artists, bohemians, People escaping the mainstream often go to Delgum Park. Red Garden is full of culture, theaters, entertainment of the less seedy variety. People who can afford it go to Red Garden for their entertainment. West Mab, populated by elves. A very old district, one of the first areas of the lake town that was ever built. The elves have lived there for a very long time. The Rookery, which is a district dedicated to universities, the local wizard schools, learning in general. High Harbor, which is another port district, but this time mostly for immigrants, for visiting dignitaries, much less seedy than Saltside. The Bone Docks, another dock district dedicated to the building and dismantling of ships. Finally, down here we have Turtle's Rest, out in the lake. Named Turtle's Rest because there was an enormous turtle shell on the inside this district that's been converted into a bar from an ancient giant turtle that used to live in the lake. Lastly, we have down here a little prison island. I haven't given it a name yet. So that's an overview of the city of Bastion. I'm pretty happy with it. There's some things that I would change. The next time I make a city, there's a lot of things I know I can improve, but I'm quite happy with how it turned out. It feels like there's a lot of possibilities for interesting adventures to take place, which is just what you want when you're making a map for a role-playing game. Pretty soon I'll probably make a video explaining how to design cities, how to grow them organically, starting with your main streets and then working your way down to your little side streets. It was a process that's been working out really well for me. So I'll be glad to show that sometime soon. But for now, hope you enjoy this. See you all later.